Hey guys, this is Whistler from Scarlight TCG, and today I'm going to be doing a play-by-play with my Monarchs deck. We recently did this profile. You can check it out in our description. There'll be a link. And so here we go. So the way I'm going to do this video is we're going to shuffle the deck just like we normally would when we start a match. And I'm going to assume that I get to pick, and what I like to do with this deck is go first because I like to set up some type of field lock or something very large for my opponent to try to get over that, sometimes depending on what they're playing, they might not be able to. So after we get done shuffling, let our opponent cut. So when the cut gets done, I'm going first, so I get to take 5. And here's what we got. Alright. So, not a very optimal hand to begin with, but it's something we can do a couple plays with. So, we always try to start off with Pantheism, be able to discard 1. In this situation, I'm probably going to discard the Stormforth just because it's going to be better for me right now, keeping the field spell out, because I can hopefully draw into something here. So, what I'm going to draw 2, got a Cuirass. Another Pantheism. So with this Pantheism, you want to go ahead and use it again because we're still looking for something to be able to normal summon. So I'm going to play Pantheism. I'm going to discard the Domain. Draw 2. There we go. That's exactly what we're looking for, an idea. And a Return of the Monarchs. Okay. So in this situation, I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to play Return of the Monarchs so that whenever I do Tribute Summon, I can go ahead and get its effect. I'm going to play Adia's effect to be able to search Edios. Special summon Edios. Use his effect to be able to tribute summon. This turn again. Now, what I'm going to go into next is I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to banish Pantheism. Whenever I banish Pantheism, it allows me to search 3 for my deck, and because we're just now getting into this, I'm actually going to search for Domain. That's what I'm going to want to do so that I can reduce the level and be able to use it. Now, in this situation, we already have a Domain in the graveyard, so what you want to do to force your opponent to pick it is we're going to get as many Domains as we can out of here, which is going to be 2, and we're going to pick Tenacity, because if they pick Tenacity instead of the Domains because they know what you're doing or whatever, then use Tenacity to reveal to be able to search again to get Domain out. So basically, what we're going to go ahead and skip ahead to is just say that they pick Domain. So Domain's going to go to my hand. These other 2 are going to go back in the deck. I'm not going to shuffle right now. Domain is going to get played as the field spell. And then you kind of get to pick and choose. What I usually like to do is, because I've got the Pantheism banished, I like to be able to sacrifice my idea no matter what. Now we can choose whether we want to do, something like one of the big Monarchs or the Majesty's Fiend or even Cuirass. But what I'm going to do to be able to just go on ahead and screw up my opponent, because I'm going turn 1, is I'm going to reduce the level with Domain by 2 on this big guy and be able to take him to 6, so it only takes 1 tribute to be able to summon him. So I'm going to tribute Idea to bring this guy up. And whenever I tribute Idea to graveyard, use her effect to be able to bring back Pantheism from banishment to hand. Okay? Now we get this play for later. This guy's effect, whenever he hits the field, is he's able to take 2 Monarch spell traps with different names and send them to graveyard. Now when you're sending stuff to graveyard, always try to send Prime. Whenever Prime goes to graveyard, it's very important that you bring this back out to be able to use them as tribute fodder or for being able to set up some type of defense on your field for from your opponent's deck. So as of right now, it's not really important first turn bringing it out, but go ahead and get it in there. And the other thing I'm going to send, it really just depends on what you want to do personally, but what I like to do is either send a Stormforth or maybe even a Domain, because we already have one on the field, but there's one in the graveyard as well. It's really up to you. I'm going to send a Stormforth just because, we can search it. We got Tenacity still in here. Everything's still good. We only have 1 Domain left in the deck, so I don't want to be able to screw that play up. Okay. And so when we send 2 with different names to graveyard, we can use his effect. And what his effect is to be able to basically pick one card either on the field or in the graveyard to shuffle back to deck, or one card randomly from your opponent's hand, as you can see here. And so whenever you pick one randomly from hand, they've only got 5 getting ready to draw into a 6th, but they're actually going to only have 4 drawing into a 5th, which works extremely well into your advantage. And another thing that we get to do as well is use the Return of the Monarchs. Now, something that I like to do, if I didn't have a Majesty's Fiend in the hand, I'd like to go ahead and get it. But in this case, I do have it in hand. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to use its effect to draw into something like my Mega Monarch. Now, I have Thessalos. It's really good for being able to look at their hand. That's what I like to use it for, because you get to discard 1 and inflict damage if it's a monster. But Caius, if you're running that, that's also a really good card to pick. It really just depends. So in this case, I'm gonna actually get Thessalos to my hand for any type of play that they do on my monsters next turn. And so that's what basically a turn 1 looks like for Monarchs. You know, this was pretty good. You can, I mean, it's possible to brick. I don't think this deck bricks as much as what people think it does, but this is kind of what it can do on turn 1. So this is what we're going to do next. We are going to actually take all these, we're going to shuffle them back in, and we're going to do what it would look like on a turn 2 situation. Turn 2 looks a lot like turn 1, but you might be dealing with some stuff that you need to get over, and I'm going to give you a very quick, small situation on turn 2. So we shuffle our deck. You know, you've probably sided in at this time, but, you know, maybe you won first go and they just want to go first and there's nothing different. Let them cut. Alright, so you're going to do 5. And then you're going to draw 1. So I went ahead and did 6. So here's what we're looking at. This is a pretty good hand. It's going to let you do quite a few different things. What I always like to do first is play Upstart Goblin, let you go on ahead and see what all you can get. Maybe start some kind of really big chain here. So we would get Pantheism, which is pretty good. We can use it in this situation, which I'm going to, because it's better to draw 2 cards in my personal opinion than being able to do a few other things, because we might draw into Domain anyways or into something even better. So Pantheism, get rid of Domain from hand. Effect Veiler. And a Cuirass. And so another thing that we can do too, I'm going to lay this hand down for you guys just to look at while I'm doing this, is because we didn't get Domain, like something that, you know, I like to have on the field, we can actually banish a Pantheism to be able to search 3, which we're going to do the same thing again that we did last time, which in this situation is where we get, you know, a Tenacity in place of the one that's already in our graveyard, along with 2 domains. Let's assume they pick the domain. This goes to hand. These 2 get shuffled back in. So now this is what our hand looks like. I'm going to go ahead and play Domain. Then I'm going to play an Idea, normal summon, to effect to get Adios out. Idea's effect to be able to tribute again this turn. And in this situation, you know, you might have something pretty heavy to get over. So you might be thinking Cuirass at this point. You might even be able to think about this big guy. You could be thinking about the Mega Monarch. It really just depends on what you want to do. But I really like to do this guy, the big guy, for a turn 2 play. Normally, if you got the big light monster, Ether, however you say her name, she's really good on turn 2 if they've got nothing on their field or you're trying to get over some stuff, because she can bring something else out, i.e. something like Cuirass. But what we're going to do for this situation right now is be able to bring out this guy. And so to do this, we're going to use our domain, and then we're going to reduce his level, and we're going to take Idea and Sacrifice to be able to tribute summon him. You know, we used this effect last time. We're going to bring back Pantheism to hand from banishment, and this is actually really good for something like tribute summon monsters on turn 2 when you're trying to do a lot of damage. it'll increase all tribute summon monsters attack by 800 during damage calculation. So that's really awesome. It helps the 2800 attack tribute summon Monarch go up to 3600, which is basically getting over a lot of things. One of the bigger decks that I play against a lot is Cosmos, and against Dark Destroyer, that's just pretty awesome, and it really helps a lot. So, you know, after we do his effect, depending on what they got on field, in the graveyard, or in their hands, we can randomly take out and do whatever we need to do. So that's kind of what turn 2 would look like. It wouldn't be a lot of damage this turn, but as things got crazier and crazier throughout the game, you'd be able to do quite a bit of damage and bring out quite a few things as you tribute summon and bring out better and bigger stuff. So if you guys like this play-by-play, go ahead and comment, like, and subscribe. Give us some ideas as to what else you would like to see. We're going to plan on doing some more play-by-plays with other decks, and hope you guys liked it. Appreciate the watch, and see y'all soon.